So, what is a taker? When we're talking about givers, takers, and matchers, today I want to teach you a little bit about what it is to be a taker. Well, I'm Laura from Life Coaching with Laura, and I've been sharing how when I had taken some leadership training many years ago, this was one of my favorite training lessons I had learned, and it really helped me to not only develop my team better, but I also was able to use this, and I want to share this with you too, for my own personal life. I want it to be for your personal life too. You'll be able to pick this up for your family. And if you are leading a department of people or having a team of people, this simple teaching is really going to give you some insight about yourself and your team. Okay, so we talked last time about givers and how givers are the ones who are doing exactly that. They're the ones who are showing up, and they're the ones who are going above and beyond. But they're not doing it because they want applause. They're doing it because it's who they are. They're doing it out of an overflow of who they genuinely, live out being. Well, you'll find that in your family and on a team, you have the givers, and then guess what? You have the takers. And this is so black and white, once we start to think about this, like there's always the takers in our life. These are the people that are always looking to find out the least amount that they can do. They are really looking towards the givers to do the hard work. They're hanging out in the background, you might say, hoping that they're not going to get called on to have to do anything. And, listen, I think we're all a little of givers and all a little bit of takers. So this is a no judgment zone. This is a no shame zone, but it is important insight for yourselves and for working with others. And so, when I begin to realize, that on my team, there may be some takers, I really needed to be mindful of that because it would actually create great imbalance in the team. Why? Well, for the obvious reason that the givers would actually be doing all the pulling and the takers would be the ones being pulled, right? They would be looking to the givers to do their part and maybe even do the takers' part. And that's the danger of having a lot of takers in your relationships or on your team, is because it's not just that they expect others to do, their own work. Takers really expect you to actually do their work too. And that's where people can get burnt out in a family, in relationships, in a business, right? So we got to be really mindful, pay attention, who are the givers and who are the takers. Well, in my next video, I'm going to talk about the third group of people, which are called the matchers, and why it's really important to know who your matchers are and what that actually means. Well, listen, we're all going to have takers in our lives. Sometimes some of our good friends, they're takers. They'll let you give and give and give and give, and they'll just keep taking and taking and taking and taking. And I would not at all suggest that you stop being friends with them. What I will say is you need to be very mindful that you have a lot of givers in your life with a smaller amount of takers. And if you're building a team, right, whether it's a ministry or it's a department at work, right, you're forming a coalition of some type, you really need to be mindful that in order to have harmony, you're going to have to really weed out the takers, and you're going to have to really draw in support and encourage the givers to stay and celebrate them, because they actually are what make life so sweet. So givers and takers. Now, your challenge this week is, since it's true, all of us show up as takers in our lives at some places and at some points. I just want you to recognize that if you're taking that role on a lot, other people notice. They know. They know that you're a taker, and they wouldn't say it to your face maybe, but they probably don't spend as much time with you as they might, because honestly, takers can drain a person's capacity to give, right? Being a taker, whether it's just of someone's constant, encouragement or their resources or their time, right? Without, pouring back into that relationship, well, it's more than likely going to run that relationship dry. So if you find that you can honestly take an assessment and say, wow, I'm often showing up as a taker, could I just encourage you to just confess that, right? Take that to the Lord in prayer and ask Him to show you how to show up in life, in your family, on the job, as a giver. Remember that. It makes your life more full, and it makes the lives of others more full. And when that happens, then life becomes more beautiful. Well, I look forward to talking to you in the next video about what it is to be a matcher. And if you found value in this, I would love that you would give it a thumbs up and that you would share it with someone who is needing this help, right, in building a team, in understanding about leadership, and also being able to discern why some of their relationships are not working out. Until the next time, I say peace and love.